All right, we're going live here in just about 50 seconds. We're going to be cross doing this with Blog Talk Radio in New York. So hang on. We're going to connect together here in about 40 seconds. And then we'll get started talking about the idiots at the FDA being bought off. Money. What is the reasons? And we'll give you some comments on this. On one of the most important supplements ever known to man. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So hang on.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
The information you hear on the Nutrition Shop's Health Talk with Dr. Len is intended to be educational and not intended to diagnose or treat disease. Individual concerns should be addressed to your health professional. It's time for the Nutrition Shop's Health Talk with registered pharmacist, clinical nutritionist, and naturopathic doctor, Dr. Len Branswitz. He's here to use his knowledge to impact your health and change your life. Get more information on the website at nutritionshop.net. Right now, you can call the Nutrition Shop's Health Talk at 347-989-8205. That's 347-989-8205. And now your host for the Nutrition Shop's Health Talk, Dr. Len Branswitz.
And again, good afternoon to you all. Welcome. I want to start out by just telling you a little story that goes back 10 years this upcoming July. When I unfortunately was diagnosed with kidney cancer, had an 8.5 centimeter tumor on the outside of my right kidneys and went through a surgical procedure, managed to keep my kidneys, managed to make it through to the other side with God's grace and blessings to not have to do chemo and radiation, thanks to the skillful hand of some surgeons, and I did well. Now, you come to the other side after you're diagnosed with cancer, and you go through a therapy or a procedure. You're going to try to dig deep into what caused this. What was it? And it drove me nuts. You know, I actually sat down with my surgeon and I said, what do you think this could be? Because I spent my career teaching people how to avoid cancer. What happened? You know, a lot of times when I prayed about this thing, it could be that God said that you're showing too much pride in what you do, too much being proud. And oftentimes pride comes before a fall. Could it be that I wasn't giving him enough grace and praise for the job well done rather than just me? Could be. Or could it have been that where we lived in Pittsburgh, the amount of chlorine that was present in our water supply was 4 times that over most water supplies? And since chlorine is nephrotoxic, could it be? Well, could be. My wife didn't, but my wife didn't drink as much water as me, but you never know. Could it be that I spent some time in tanning beds due to that miserable weather that was in Pittsburgh at the time? Could be. Radiation up on the kidneys. Whatever. So now I'm on the other side. I've got to protect my kidneys. I've got to hang on to them because I've seen individuals with kidney failure go into dialysis. And I don't want to go that route at all. So I was introduced to a supplement that I had been carrying before, but never really used much, called N-acetylcysteine, abbreviated NAC. And when I started to research NAC, and we're going to talk about that today, I pulled a study out of the journal called Cell that goes back to 2016 that was published in the Library of Science about the review of the various uses of N-acetylcysteine. You'll be astounded. Now, I started on N-acetylcysteine at varying doses because whenever I had my blood work done, the kidney numbers just didn't look quite right. Now, I know I had a secondary complication of uric acid problems and gout that I inherited from my father, so I had to put that into the account as well. And I remember telling my wife that whenever I would take my N-acetylcysteine, I didn't really have the problems that I used to have with gout. It supported my kidneys. And it kept my numbers okay. They weren't great, but they were okay. So, fast forward ahead to January of 2020 and the dawn of COVID. At that point, we were looking at a pandemic, right? At that point, most of us scrambled to buy toilet paper and antiseptics and disinfectants, and we thought the world was going to end. And I had been requested many times, what supplements could we take? Well, idiot boy Fauci came up and talked about zinc for a while, and pretty soon we couldn't buy zinc anywhere. But I came up with a protocol that included N-acetylcysteine as a preventative for COVID. I had to watch how I said that, because it protected the lungs. So I started on it, and I recommended it to a lot of people. And a lot of people had really good results with it. In fact, they felt so well because N-acetylcysteine boosts something called glutathione in your body. And if your brain is running low on glutathione, when you boost it up, you feel better and your memory improves. So a lot of people say, can I just keep taking this? Not only as a preventative, not only in place of a vaccine, but to help me in my brain functionality, in my liver functionality, my kidney functionality. I said, yeah, sure you can. So we're going to talk about the idiots at the FDA that are supposed to protect us, that I have said over and over again are being bought out. And now they seem to be in a mode that has been supercharged by the person who is claiming to be president of the United States, who is supercharging them, it looks like. So we're going to look at the various uses of N-acetylcysteine. We're going to look at, what's his name, Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon, and what a wuss he is, and how he managed to cause this problem. So we're going to point a dirty finger at Amazon, and we're going to take a look at N-acetylcysteine and point out some of the inaccuracies at the FDA. But as we do always when we're using Blog Talk Radio, we start out by playing the Star Spangled Banner. The number to reach us at the office, 678-228-8900. Our website, the Nutrition Shop, SHOPPE.net, thenutritionshop.net. The FDA stated in a recent warning letter that N-acetylcysteine is excluded from the definition of a dietary supplement. FDA warning letters on NAC cause a stir in the supplement sector. You're not going to hear this on the news. In fact, you may never even heard of N-acetylcysteine before. But what we're talking about here are some principles of something that's been around for literally decades. And the Hippocratic Oath that says, thou shalt do no harm, that everything that I looked at in every single aspect and segment of research, I cannot find one single toxic report with N-acetylcysteine. None. Zero. So what would prompt the FDA to do this? What would prompt those idiots to make a decision like this? Because if you don't call it a dietary supplement, you call it a prescription drug. You call it a drug. Drugs interfere, by definition. This is coming from a pharmacist, me. Drugs interfere with a normal physiological process in the human body. Dietary supplements accentuate, which is what NAC does. It doesn't interfere with anything. So they're wrong there. So I had to do some digging to say, like, what would prompt this? What would prompt the FDA to make a decision like this? Drug companies, maybe? How about this? I found out that Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York is sponsoring research. They decided to put up the cash to determine if a medication called N-acetylcysteine can really help fight COVID-19. Ha! Told you. The research is one of several studies registered on clinicaltrials.gov. Not just one, but the stir that we created here in the natural world, not just myself, but other natural practitioners, that this prep was highly effective. They're going to explore the potential of using NAC in treating and preventing COVID that has ravaged people's health and the global economy. NAC has been approved by the FDA. Who cares, really? It was approved to treat liver side effects from an overdose of Tylenol. What else does medicine have for that? Nothing. It's also used to loosen the thick mucus in the lungs of people with cystic fibrosis. What else do we have for that? Steroids, asthma medications. It's also been approved by the FDA for chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Really? And you can buy it over the counter. And it works. Again, Memorial Sloan Kettering. The ingredient also happens to be widely marketed in another category of products overseen by the FDA, dietary supplements. And this is at least the second time since 2010 that the FDA has challenged the legality of NAC and dietary supplements. In recent warning letters to several marketers of supplements for hangovers, there's where the problem is. If you start making claims, and these unscrupulous people put it out there, that this is the cure for hangovers, the FDA is going to come and get you. It was first approved as a drug in 1963. Responding to the new dietary ingredient notification, the FDA stated in an October 21st, 2010 letter that NAC was first approved as a new drug in 1985. To the FDA's knowledge, NAC has not been previously marketed as a food or supplement prior to the FDA's approval. The reality in the marketplace is far different. As of this past Monday, 1,170 products containing NAC were listed in the dietary supplement label database. This is not a fringe ingredient, says Steve Mister, President and CEO of the Council for Responsible Nutrition. Since the warning letters were published, several members of the CRN have reached out to the trade association asking whether they should be concerned or if the FDA is going to start targeting other products. Steve Tabby, director of FDA's Office of Dietary Supplement Program, said FDA's warning letters simply reiterate its previous conclusions that NAC is excluded from the definition as a supplement. To the extent that any stakeholders or anyone in the industry or anyone else has facts that they think would cause us to rethink our conclusion, would welcome that evidence. Lindsay Hackey, FDA spokesperson, said the agency's review is generally limited to the text of the claim itself. I could go on for 3 hours here with all the paperwork I have. Nobody's accusing us of favoring dietary supplements in all cases where we don't make an exclusion determination because that's not public. The statute is what it is, and all we do is apply it. The FDA has created a shadow over NAC as a dietary supplement, which would encourage the drug companies to go forward under the thought that they could get a monopoly on the ingredient if the clinical research pans out. There it is. The FDA hands it to the drug companies on a platter, say, put this as a drug and we'll help you to approve it. Now, I got to tell you, a form of this has already been used, and it's probably in every single emergency room in this country. It's called Mucomist. If somebody has a breathing issue and comes into the hospital for a breathing treatment, they're going to be given a treatment of Mucomist, which helps to get the mucus out of the lungs. Also, anytime I've had to go and had any scans of my kidneys where they had to give me a dye, I had to take Mucomist to pull the dye out of my kidneys. It's that effective. So I started out here talking about Amazon. What did Amazon have to do with this? What did good old Bezos have to do? Amazon, as soon as they smelled a little controversy, first thing that they did, without consulting with anybody, is removed all NAC supplements from their forum. Amazon confirmed this week that it's in the process of removing from its dietary supplements anything containing NAC. FDA last year asserted warning letters that NAC could not be lawfully marketed in dietary supplements because it was first studied as a drug in 1963. The controversy puts the online retail giant like Amazon in a pickle. It must essentially pick a side in the fight between the FDA and the industry. Either continue to sell NAC-containing supplements and risk FDA enforcement action, or remove the products from its website. Third-party sellers are independent businesses and are required to follow all applicable laws, regulations, and Amazon policies when listing items for sale in our stores, said an Amazon spokesperson late Wednesday. We're in the process of removing NAC from the questions in our stores. Amazon also owns Whole Foods Market, and at least one trade association head acknowledged he wouldn't be surprised if Whole Foods also removed NAC from their store shelves. Amazon did not immediately respond Thursday to any follow-up questions. As the mothership goes, so goes Whole Foods. In April, several industry sources told Natural Products magazine that Amazon had started to remove NAC-containing supplements from its platform. At that time, however, several supplements containing the ingredients remained available for sale. We still don't know the full story of whys on this, other than Amazon seems to have been spooked, and we think overreacted regarding the pharma patent on NAC. In response to questions about NAC-containing supplements sold through other e-commerce giants like eBay, we regularly work with the FDA and remove listings for products that have received warnings or recalls. In a letter to the FDA in December, the Center for Responsible Nutrition outlined its reasons why the agency should revert to its long-standing policy of allowing manufacturers to market products containing NAC as dietary supplements. In a follow-up interview Thursday, they said, we'll continue to push Amazon that FDA is still talking with the Council for Responsible Nutrition and has indicated that the letter is still under review with the agency. Our hope is that we will get clarity and help get this back on the market. Now, immediately when Amazon pulled that nonsensical thing, all of our suppliers, and I mean, I use multitudes of suppliers to get the products into my office, they all ceased. They all stopped. They stamped everything on my potential to order as back ordered, period. So let me give you a little background. A review of various uses of N-acetylcysteine. You can find this in the journal called Cell Journal, April to June 2017, PMID number 283-67412. Abstract. N-acetylcysteine is a nutritional supplement. Wait a minute. I thought the FDA said it was a drug. in 2010. This is 2017. That a published journal in the National Archives of Science said it's a nutritional supplement. It's a greatly applied antioxidant in vivo and in vitro. NAC is a precursor to L-cysteine that results in glutathione elevation biosynthesis. It acts directly as a scavenger of free radicals, especially oxygen radicals. It's a powerful antioxidant. It's also recommended as a potential treatment option for different disorders resulting from generation of free oxygen radicals. Additionally, it is a protected and endured mucolytic drug that mellows tenacious mucus discharges into the throat or the lungs. It has been used for treatment of various diseases in a direct action or in combination with some other medications. Safe, relatively inexpensive. That's what they don't like. Here's some of its uses. Documented in science. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, one of the most common endocrine gland-related diseases affecting almost 10% of reproductive age women. This syndrome is considered as the most common cause of anovulatory infertility. We don't release eggs. PCOS is also associated with pregnancy complications, such as recurrent pregnancy loss. Different studies report the prevalence of PCOS in women with a history. This study said, we go to it, as a medication option, it goes through clomiphene has been used. Researchers evaluated the effects of N-acetylcysteine, known to resupply stores of the antioxidant glutathione, on insulin secretion and peripheral insulin resistance in subjects in association with PCOS. And guess what? It worked. Use number 2, approved by the FDA, premature birth and recurrent pregnancy loss. Premature birth is the most common reasons for perinatal mortality and long-term unhealthiness in low-income countries. Okay, this RPL is defined as an occurrence of 3 or more consecutive pregnancy losses in the first or early second trimester of pregnancy, less than 20 weeks of gestation. And again, researchers that used N-acetylcysteine showed almost a 50% improvement in outcomes. Use number 3, Tylenol toxicity. Acetaminophen administration is reported as the most common drug overdose in pregnancy. Acetaminophen readily crosses the placenta and in toxic doses can result in fetal hepatic necrosis, premature birth, spontaneous abortion, and fetal death. NAC is an amino acid that contains thiol groups. It's been used for the treatment of acetaminophen toxicity, and NAC is a potent antioxidant metabolite, and it goes on to say you could literally save lives by using it. Story number 5, administration of N-acetylcysteine for infertile patients undergoing assisted reproductive techniques. Story number 6, its use in chronic bronchitis. Chronic bronchitis is defined as the absence of chronic productive cough for more than 3 months in each of 2 sequential years. Therefore, an important goal in the treatment of chronic bronchitis is to decrease the frequency and duration of intensification and to decrease symptoms in patients with aggravations. NAC has been used as an anti-inflammatory drug as well as an antioxidant and has been used in chronic bronchitis for years in Europe and recently in the United States. Number 7, its use in ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis is a chronic inflammatory disorder with multiple causal factors. Human colitis has many similar characteristics to acetic acid-induced colitis, is a reproducible and simple model. Studies have indicated that signaling pathways contributing to cell death and the difficulties in inflammatory bowel disease can be calmed by NAC, and NAC not only protected against the direct detrimental impact of oxidants, but also advantageously modified inflammatory events in colitis. Number 8, I think, liver cancer. Liver cancer is one of the most common life-threatening malignancies all over the world up till now. There's no effective drug for the treatment of liver tumors. NAC has been useful. Muscle performance. Investigations show NAC helps on fatigued muscles. Hemodialysis. Homocysteine is a sulfur-containing amino acid that is produced in the body by the metabolism of methionine amino acid. Homocysteine levels in patients with hemodialysis is associated with kidney-related disorders. However, in the treated dialysis patients, studies have shown that NAC administration could affect plasma homocysteine levels and allowed for the dialysis to continue safely. Alzheimer's disease is known as a multifactorial disease with many abnormalities in physiological, biochemical, and neurochemical points of view. NAC has been said to be protective against the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Parkinson's disease, a very prevalent neurodegenerative disorder caused by unknown deterioration of cells which generate dopamine in the pars compacta section of the brain. And again, N-acetylcysteine has been reported to increase levels of glutathione in the brain, which can help stabilize against Parkinson's. In conclusion, a review of NAC literature shows that this agent is safe and well-tolerated supplementary drug without any side effects. Without any side effects, FDA. The FDA's selling out, and Amazon's playing a role in that. I wish I could have better news there, and I will be back to give you as much news as I can concerning this. But as of right now, we can't get it. Now, I'm going to tell you this. We have a prep called Pro Lean Greens, which was reformulated recently by Nutritional Frontiers to put an ingredient in there called emelthion, which is another glutathione precursor. So for those of you that have been taking NAC on a regular basis, for whatever the reason, the Pro Lean Greens as a powder, taken once a day, could be an adjunct that could help you along the way until we get a clarification on what's going on with this. I wish I had better news, but I wanted to get this out. I wanted to put it on YouTube so that you could share it with others and understand that there are a few alternatives out there. We'll keep you up to date with that. Any other questions, give us a call at 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. Just a little piece on neuronutrition, and then we're going to wrap it up for the day.
With 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. qualifying as obese, food is at the root of the most preventable death and disease in America. By the time today's kids are 35, half of them will be obese. It's time to get our priorities straight. Neuronutrition looks at how food affects our brains, and biohacking breaks all the rules to create a science for more individualized nutrition and products. Personal preferences have dictated nutritional choices throughout contemporary history. Ever since people gained access to enough food to move beyond sustenance, they have based their dietary decisions mainly on taste and general health trends. Yet a growing body of evidence shows that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition. Our responses to different nutrients are unique, and by recognizing and monitoring this, we can potentially extend our healthy life expectancy. More recently, this black and white view of nutrition has been upended by research showing each of us responds differently to foods and supplements. My body processes a banana different than your body. Consequently, while bananas are broadly seen as a healthy food, I may benefit more from eating one than you, and vice versa. Nowadays, you really have the possibility to individualize or personalize nutrition and have the right nutrients for the right people at the right time. Personalized nutrition is a result of 3 trends. Advances in nutritional sciences have improved understanding of how diet affects health. New diagnostic and devices have opened up new ways to measure and monitor health and fitness. And the rise of analytical tools and self-learning algorithms have turned the data they generate into real-world insights. Personalized nutrition works. It's what we do here at the Nutrition Shop. It's a real in-depth look at you as a human being. And it works. Give us a call if you want more details, 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900, or reach out to us through our website at thenutritionshop.net, and we look forward to becoming part of your healthcare team. Take care.
And again, you can reach us at 678-228-8900 or the website, thenutritionshop.net. Tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, 9 a.m., we'll be on Facebook talking about probiotics and prebiotics. So make sure you tune in. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, have your coffee and have a little bit of the Breakfast Club with us. Have a great day, folks. God bless.
What you received your daily dose. Remember, you can go back and listen to this information again at blogtalkradio.com or at our website, thenutritionshop.net.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.